In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. We intend to continue our episodes in CYC satellite channel to respond to the atheistic thoughts and beliefs and movements which are spreading everywhere in the world. We respond by scientific proofs, but before we go into scientific details, we just refer to the warning that St. Paul have written in his epistle to the Romans, chapter 1, starting from verse 18. Just to realize there is some advice to help us in our effort to present reality to our youth. He wrote, starting from verse 18 in chapter 1, "For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, because what may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has shown it to them. For since the creation of the world, His invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even His eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because although they knew God, they did not glorify Him as God, nor were thankful, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts are darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools." The important thing in his speech here, St. Paul is guiding us to contemplate in the things that God created in the universe, saying even His eternal power and Godhead can be realized. He wrote, "For since the creation of the world, His invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even His eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse." Now we shall notice a short movie on the screen about one of the things which God created in the beginning of the creation of life on earth. That is the creation of plants. And we can notice how marvelous are the plants and its seeds in order that this creation can continue for the benefit of human beings and other living creatures.
Every seed is a miniature miracle. God has programmed the tiny sequoia seed to become the largest tree on earth, reaching nearly 300 feet tall and weighing many tons. God has designed the humble apple seed to yield a bounty of delicious fruit for years to come. And God has planned a multitude of seeds to produce spectacular blossoms in abundance. Consider the many varieties of seeds. As stated in Genesis, each seed always produces after its own kind. And just as the Lord intended, the fruits and byproducts that they bear have supplied the needed food and resources for man and his environment.
In the first chapter of Genesis, God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth," and it was so. So the Creator made life with the ability to reproduce after its kind. Plants produce seed. This answers the question, which came first, the seed or the plant? Clearly, God created plant life with the seed in itself.
Seeds are masterpieces of micro-miniaturization. Inside each seed is a little baby, a little embryonic plant. It's already got leaves, and a stem and a root. It's surrounded by a seed coat that protects it and filled with all kinds of receptors listening in to environmental signals so it knows what temperature, what moisture conditions, how much oxygen. All these things have to be present before it will sprout. In the first seeds we find as fossils look just like the seeds that we have today. The seed is the first reproductive structure God made on creation day 3, and it's the way living things ever since have multiplied after kind.
Today, scientists have discovered what Scripture stated all along. Inside the unassuming seed is life itself. Contained within are living cells, tiny factories of amazing complexity. No scientist has been able to build a synthetic seed, and no seed is simple. Seeds are programmed to remain dormant until water and warmth are available. Who installed this ability to monitor temperature and humidity? Who determined the proper time for the seed to germinate? Who told the root, "You must go down," and the stem, "You must head upward"? Do you see the guiding hand of our all-loving Creator? In order to sprout and thrive, seeds require the proper soil nutrients, the ideal properties found in water, the correct frequency spectrum of light, the right atmosphere, and the necessary pollinators. All of these must have been in place from the beginning in order for seeds to yield a harvest of blessings for mankind.
After watching the movie, we would like to mention that the people who are speaking are great scientists. For example, Dr. Gray Parker is a professor and biologist and writer of books. Also, Mr. Roger Auckland is a great scientist, and at the same time he is a Bible study professor, and we should notice how deep they are linking science with faith, to believe in God as a creator. Of course, we shall mention some of the facts that we have seen in the movie, but before that, we should realize that the creation of plants is important for the life of human beings and of animals and birds. There is a cycle of water in the world, and there is a cycle of oxygen, and there is a cycle of carbon dioxide. Something marvelous. The cycle of water, a great area of earth is covered with waters, oceans and seas, and it is subjected, while the earth is rotating every day, is subjected to sun rays, to sun energy. The water vapor is rising up, forming clouds, and traveling from one place to another, from one continent to another. And this water, vaporized from salt, sea and ocean, is not containing salt, because water vapor is distilled water. So it is ready for drinking when it comes down on earth, ready for agricultural needs, because plants need water to live. But there is a phenomena that clouds with interaction are producing lightning and a huge amount of energy, electric energy, which cause that the nitrogen in the air surrounding the earth is dissolved in the water in the cloud, and the rain coming is carrying nitric acid, which is essential to produce protein, because protein cannot be produced from hydrogen, oxygen, or carbon. Hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon can form hydrocarbons, but nitrates or nitric acid can form protein. The plants contain protein, both protein and hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are essential for energy. When we eat hydrocarbons, it gives us energy. In different forms of hydrocarbons, sometimes it is in the form of sugar or sweet, like glucose or fructose. But whatever its type may be, it is necessary for energy. But protein is necessary for muscles and meat in animal and human beings. But there is another cycle, which is cycle of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Human beings are producing, as a byproduct of burning hydrocarbons and producing energy, are producing carbon dioxide when they breathe, animals and human beings. This carbon dioxide is necessary for plants. It is absorbed in a chlorophyllc activity done by the green leaves of plants, where carbon dioxide is absorbed from the surrounding air, and oxygen is produced, expelled from plant. Oxygen is necessary for breathing for animals and human beings. So without plant, there is no food and there is no oxygen. And without animals and human beings, there is no carbon dioxide, which is necessary for building the plant, because protein alone is not sufficient. Also, the water in irrigation is supplying plant with hydrogen, because water is formed of one atom of oxygen and 2 atoms of hydrogen. So hydrogen supply is given to the plants by water. The plants cannot continue to live if there are no animals, birds, and human beings. And human beings would not find food if there are no plants. So the cycle of plants also, that it is eaten, but the eaters are producing life for the plants. Human beings may eat plants only because the protein can be supplied by plants or from the meat of animals or birds. The amino acids can be collected from plants or from the meat of fish, birds, and animals. But the plants are, as we have seen in the movie, are miraculous. As we have heard scientists saying, the smallest seed, the tiny sequoia seed, becomes the largest tree on earth, reaching nearly 300 feet tall and weighing many tons. Also, the plants are equipped with all kinds of receptors, especially the seeds, listening in to environmental signals so that it knows what temperature, what moisture conditions, how much oxygen. All these things have to be present before it will sprout. They also mentioned, who told the root you must go down? And who told the stem you must head upward? Do we see the guiding hand of our loving Creator? If you put the seed inverted in the soil, this does not mean that the root will go up and the stem will go down, but it will revolve around the seed so that the root will go down at any rate and the stem will go up in any position when the seed is planted. Only contemplating in plants and flowers and fruits can guide us to believe in our loving Creator, so that the ignorant can say there is no God. Everything on the earth is prepared in a very kind and wise way for the life to start on earth. Not only what we have mentioned now, but many other factors which we cannot mention in one episode, or even we cannot contain altogether in our thoughts. Glory be to God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.